Welcome back one more again for another episode of the Movie Brothers. I'm Ant. This is Kev.
How you doing?
How you? Man, you sound like you're in a piano lounge.
I feel like I'm in a piano lounge today.
It's all good. So, got a great show lined up for you. We're going to review the movie Thor: The Dark World. It's rated PG-13, has a runtime of 1 hour and 52 minutes. If you hadn't guessed already, this is an action-adventure. Okay, so in this movie, the world of Asgard, which is where Thor lives. Don't even go there.
I'm not. I got nothing to say.
The world of Asgard is under attack, which takes Thor and his love interest, Jane Foster, the Earthling, on a perilous journey.
This movie was directed by Alan Taylor, whose fine work you could probably find on any HBO major series, such as Game of Thrones or HBO's Boardwalk Empire. He was chosen for this film because he does a really good job of directing large-scale action and battle scenes. And what's a Thor movie without a large-scale battle scene?
Yeah, we'd have a problem if we didn't.
This movie stars Chris Hemsworth, who's back again as Thor. Natalie Portman stars as Jane Foster, his love interest. We also have Tom Hiddleston, who returns in the form of Loki. And Rene Russo and Anthony Hopkins are also on board with two of the finest performances in the film, but we'll get to that in a minute. Also, Idris Elba is also lurking around in the background as well. So, with that said, let's take a look at the trailer.
Let's do it.
Some believe that before the universe, there was nothing. They're wrong. There was darkness, and it has survived.
What's gonna happen?
You must be truly desperate to come to me for help.
If we do nothing, they will destroy us.
You even think about betraying him.
And I'll kill you.
Thor, your bravery will not ease your pain. Your family, your world will be extinguished.
We're running out of time.
The very fabric of reality will be torn apart.
I'll find a way to save us all.
I'm sorry, y'all. I hate to do it to you, but we got another dud on our hands. Let's start with Chris Hemsworth. This guy was terrible. And don't get me wrong, I mean, this is a superhero, this is an action movie, I totally get that. This is not meant to be some kind of Oscar performance, but still, with the cast, the surrounding cast that he has, from the Rene Russos to the Anthony Hopkins, he sticks out like a sore thumb in terms of his performances. And I mean, it's just like he's reading cue cards and just, you know, it's distracting, it's so bad.
You know, I give Chris Hemsworth a little bit of a pass on this. You know, I actually like Chris Hemsworth. I think that he has screen presence. I think that as Thor, he's done a good job in both the Avengers and in the first Thor movie. I just think this is a product of bad directing and an even worse script. I gotta be honest with you.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest with you. I didn't really feel that he was really engaged in it, like he really wanted to be somewhere else, is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And the same can be said for Natalie Portman and just about everybody else who's in the film.
Hey, I totally agree with you. You know, the backdrop and the storyline, you know, Thor and Asgard, that's just one world of many that they operate under. And you feel that because they're hopping all over the place and you cannot keep up. A little bit of disclosure for you. You know, Kev's a comic book fan. I am not.
Guilty as charged.
But I don't think it matters either way when you check this movie out, because as he mentioned, they're all over the place. It's almost like a pizza with too many toppings. They just sprinkle this, throw a little bit of that on there, and it's a mess.
As a comic book fan, you probably would be more pissed than if you weren't a comic book fan. So if you don't read comic books, you're probably better off, you know, for seeing this film than if you were a fan. So don't feel so bad about that, Ant. This movie is an hour and 52 minutes long, and I swear it felt like it was 2, 3, 4 hours long.
Yeah.
It really goes from Thor to Bor in less than 2 hours.
Pretty much. Yeah, they probably went a good 30, 45 minutes too long with this one.
Absolutely. One of the things that really surprised me is that there is absolutely no chemistry between Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman in this film, which was something that was established pretty well by Kenneth Branagh in the original Thor film. Mm-hmm. There is no chemistry. Matter of fact, if Kat Dennings wasn't in this movie as Natalie Portman's little friend, the one with all the little jokes and
it's pretty annoying to me.
Yeah, well, there would be no comic relief in this film at all if it weren't for her. Okay, there's an interesting paradox going on with Loki in that when he's not on screen, you miss him because there's nothing else going on that holds your interest. But when he is on screen, you're thinking, "Oh my gosh, how much longer is he gonna be on screen?"
And see, I was feeling Loki the whole time. I mean, here's a core problem. You know, everything that we've been saying centers around Thor, and that's a big problem because it's his freaking movie.
Yeah.
I felt like, I mean, some of the best scenes in the movie don't include him.
Right. And I would agree with you on that. And let's be honest, okay? Is Thor really going to be anybody's top tier favorite superhero? I don't remember going trick or treating with anybody as a kid who was dressed as Thor. All right.
Walk around with a hammer.
Exactly. Walk around with a hammer, you know, swinging it on stuff. So the bottom line is that, you know, Thor is a respectable, you know, comic book property, but not all comic book properties need to be made into film.
Right. Yeah. Some characters, I mean, should, you know, be more part of the, I guess, supporting cast of comic book heroes or what have you. So
absolutely.
You know.
Another thing that really bothered me about this film was that the villain is not well defined in this movie at all. Mm-hmm. You know, you get the dark elves, and you know he's a dark elf. We kind of understand that, and he's after something called the ether. But the bottom line is that we get no real character development from this guy whatsoever, other than the fact that we know that he's buried under about 50 pounds of prosthetic makeup. Mm-hmm. All right, so the bottom line is that we don't get a villain that we care about. Okay, we get heroes that we really don't care about.
Right.
Okay, which means that, you know, this movie is only saved in the brief few minutes that Rene Russo and Anthony Hopkins occupy the screen. Other than that, it's dull.
Yeah, and I think we've hammered it enough. Wouldn't you say?
I love it when you hit them with puns.
Anyway, you want to throw some points on this kid?
If we must.
All right, I'll kick it off. You know, I would not recommend this movie. The few highlights, you know, I enjoyed seeing Loki's character. I enjoyed, you know, the Rene Russos and Idris Elba and, you know, some of the actors in the movie. But beyond that, not too much there. I give this movie a 5 out of 10.
Okay. You know, I'm not too far off from where you are. And like I said, this movie was just, I don't typically fall asleep in very many films. This one I almost fell asleep in. My son, he watched it, but you know, he really wasn't just completely into it. I could tell. And when I asked him how he felt about the movie afterwards, he was like, "Meh," you know.
Well, there you have it, right there.
He gave it a meh. But based off of just what I saw, I cannot help but to give this movie anything more than a 4.5.
All right. Well, there you have it. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, we are the Movie Brothers, where we bring you nothing but the real on the real. Peace.